I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get to the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to the Renegades of Puck home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. And once you're good and educated about the show, you can click on that merchandise tab. Take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from Renegades of Puck are still available in our online store, whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets. It doesn't matter. Something like 85 different gimmicks in our online store that are available for you. After all, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. You can find us on YouTube, and we sure would appreciate if you would give us a subscription right there, and we sure do appreciate everyone that has given us a subscription as of late. Social media, you can find us on Threads and X and Facebook and Instagram and also on TikTok, so please give us a follow along on any or all of those different social media platforms. Doesn't take you but a second, and it certainly doesn't cost you anything, so help us out right there. It goes a long way to helping this operation known as the Renegades of Puck. Also, the audio podcast approaching 7 million downloads, listens, and replays for the year from local to global in the year 2023. Thanks so much to the Full Press Predators podcast, the Full Press NHL Network. We sure do appreciate how hard everyone has worked behind the scenes for 2023. And let's close out the year good and strong. Let's get that count going again in the right direction. Appreciate everybody for listening to the show over the course of this year. Stick taps, love, and respect to all. Now, if you'd like to make a donation to the show or support the show financially, you can do that by going to Venmo. Just search Renegades of Puck or scan the QR code that is currently on your screen. Thanks to generous renegades just like you watching and listening right now, we have been able to make significant upgrades, and we have improved the efficiency of the technology and upgraded the tech behind the scenes so dramatically over the last couple of weeks. And that's directly thanks to the support of you out there in the audience. So thank you. We couldn't keep this up and running without your support. So again, thank you very much. Scan the QR code or just search Renegades of Puck in Venmo and make a donation today. Listen, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage on the second night of back-to-backs. Let's get to delivering the goods. It's time for operation number 834. That's right, show number 834. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division. After 28 games skated, the Nashville Predators have a record of 15-13-0, and they have 30 points, 4 points shy of first place Winnipeg. The Nashville Predators' next game will take place on home ice with a record of 9-6. The Preds have generated 87 goals on net this season, and they have had 86 go into their net this season. Now, I mentioned 30 points, has them in fourth place in the Central Division, so let's start with the Central Division updated standings and make our way from the top all the way down to the bottom. The Winnipeg Jets are now in first place in the Central Division after 26 games skated. A record of 16-8-2 has them at 34 points. The Avalanche also have 34 points, but have skated in one more game. Same amount of wins, 16 as Winnipeg. 9-2 is the rest of their record. 34 points again has them tied with Winnipeg, but tiebreakers go to the Jets. The Dallas Stars 1 point behind both of those teams. 26 games skated, a record of 15-8-3. Then the Nashville Predators at 30 points. So the Nashville Predators 3 points behind third place, and they are 4 points behind second and first place. The Arizona Coyotes are fifth in the division at 28 points, and St. Louis is sixth at 27. The Minnesota Wild are in seventh, and the Chicago Blackhawks round out the division in eighth place and last place with just 19 points on the season, a record of 9-17-1. Now, I mentioned the Nashville Predators' next game will take place on home ice. That game will, in fact, be against the Philadelphia Flyers. Once the Nashville Predators are wrapped up with this one-night homestand against the Philadelphia Flyers, Friday they will take off and head to Carolina before coming immediately back home to face off against the Washington Capitals on Saturday. So another weekend back-to-back coming up for this Nashville Predators team on the 19th of December versus the Vancouver Canucks on the 21st at the Philadelphia Flyers. So the Preds will wrap up the season series with the Flyers in just a matter of a couple of games on the 23rd of December leading into Christmas versus the Dallas Stars. That is going to be a pivotal Central Division matchup. Now, I mentioned the Preds are going to wrap up the season series, the first of two. So on December 21st, the Nashville Predators will be in Philadelphia to take on the Flyers, and that will wrap up the season series between these two teams. Now, The Flyers are doing better than you probably know. If you haven't been looking in on them and checking on the Eastern Conference on a regular basis, you probably don't realize the Flyers have a record of 15-10-2, and their 32 points has them second in the Metropolitan Division, just behind the New York Rangers. And on the road, their record impressive, 9-4-1. They've scored 83 goals in the season. They've given up 73 goals against. They have a goal differential of +10. This Flyers team is doing quite well. As a matter of fact, over their most recent stretch of hockey, let's go back and talk about their last 5 games. On November the 30th, it was a 4-3 overtime loss versus the New Jersey Devils, so they picked up a point right there. And ever since then, they've found quite a bit of success. On December the 2nd, a 4-3 shootout win at Pittsburgh, and then flipped that to a home game against Pittsburgh, and it was a 2-1 overtime win, so 2 straight wins against the Pens. And on the 7th of December, a 4-1 win at the Arizona Coyotes, and most recently on December the 9th, a 5-2 win at the Colorado Avalanche. Hart got the start in the win, 36 out of 38 in that game. Taking a look inside the NHL rankings and the matchup and the numbers between these two teams, the Nashville Predators are improving in several metrics across the board, and I think you're going to notice quite a bit of advancement in some of these categories. But let's start with the goals for category. Preds are ahead in this metric. 3.07 goals per game is 19th best in the NHL. Philadelphia is right there. 3 goals per game is 20th in the NHL. In the goals against category, the Philadelphia Flyers, impressive top 10 metric. 2.70 given up per game is 9th best overall in the entirety of the league at this point. 3.07 goals against for the Nashville Predators. It's 13th in the league. In the shots for category, Philadelphia, again, a top 10 metric right here. 7th best in the league at 32.6 on net per game, while the Preds are generating 30.6 per game. Recently, shots for the Nashville Predators has been down just a little bit, 17th now in the league. In the shots against category, another impressive metric for the Philadelphia Flyers. This one top 5, 4th overall, 28.4 shots against per game, while the Nashville Predators are giving up 30.8 against per game. That is 18th overall. In the special teams battle, the Nashville Predators have the better power play of the two teams. 21.2% conversion rate is 14th best overall in the league. 22 out of 104 is the raw data. The Philadelphia Flyers power play is converting at 12.1%. That's 27th best in the NHL. 10 out of 83. Now, the penalty kill unit, though, is making up for that for the Philadelphia Flyers. 5th best in the NHL, kill rate of 86.2%. They've only given up 12 power play goals against on the season. As good as the Nashville Predators penalty kill has been as of late, still a kill rate of only 76.7% on the season, 23rd. That is up from 32nd, so that is a very impressive improvement. We'll talk about that more later. 21 power play goals against. Now we'll talk about the individual statistical leaders for each of these teams, the top scorers. Let's start with the home team, Nashville Predators. In this one, Filip Forsberg, 14 goals and 17 assists for 31 points. The 14 goals is the most on the Predators. The 17 assists is also the most on the Predators, but Filip Forsberg has a couple of players chasing him from behind. 31 points overall, leads the Preds. O'Reilly is second on the team in scoring, 12 goals and 10 assists for 22 points. The captain, Roman Josi, has caught up to O'Reilly for second on the team in scoring, 6 goals and 16 assists for 22 points. And Josi had a really slow start to the season, but now is back to doing exactly what you would expect Roman Josi to be doing. He's leading his squad, and he's putting points up on the board with regularity. Nyquist 3-15 for 18, and Colton Sissons breaks into the top 5, displacing Luke Evangelista. 9 goals now and 6 assists for 15 points on the season. Colton Sissons is off to an incredible start in this season. Over on the other side of the ledger, the Philadelphia Flyers coming to Bridgestone Arena, their top scorers. Konecny, 16 goals and 7 assists for 23 points. Sonam, 3-17 for 20. Couturier, 6-13 for 19. Farabee, 10 goals, 7 assists for 17 points. And Tippett, 9 goals, 8 assists for 17 points. Anticipated goaltending matchup sees UC Saros back in net for the Nashville Predators on home ice with a record now of 12-10-0, a save percentage of .908, and a goals against of 2.83. These numbers are finally starting to look more like UC Saros numbers. Winning record, a save percentage that's starting to get well above 8, and a goals against average starting to get well below 3. They're still a work in progress, but no doubt, and we're going to talk about UC Saros quite a bit more during this broadcast. UC Saros is starting to get back into the form that we all know he is capable of. A slow start this year, but the Nashville Predators still find themselves in a reasonable place in standings considering the rebuild era that they are in the goaltending matchup on the other side. Hart now 9-6-1 after his victory at Colorado against the Avalanche. A save percentage of 919, goals against of 2.42. Also very good numbers right there for the Philadelphia netminder. That's got you all set for the Preds and the Flyers at Bridgestone Arena on a Tuesday night. It's going to be a really good matchup. I don't think a lot of people would be circling this one on the calendar or on the schedule and saying fourth place Predators against second place Flyers is a big matchup. But right now, these two teams are two of the hottest, respectively, in their conferences and honestly in the league. So this is going to be a good matchup at Bridgestone Arena. I'm really looking forward to seeing these two teams get after each other, and I expect a really, really good, strong hockey game. That's going to do it for the preview segment of this. We got the recap segment to go. It's called the Reverse Sports Full Game Recap, and we got to go back and see what happened on the second night of back-to-backs in Montreal against the Canadiens. We'll be back next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back to December 10th of the year 2023 when the Nashville Predators were taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his lines in the second night of back-to-backs in the following way. Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Sherwood, Novak, Evangelista, Trennan, Parson, and Sissons, Smith, McCarron, and Tomasino, Yossi and Fabro, your first defensive pairing, McDonough and Carey, Luzon and Barrier round out the defense, and UC Saros gets the start in net. We are just 40 seconds into the first period, and it's Allen coming up with a save on Dante Fabro, first shot on goal of the game in 2:26 of the first period. UC Saros coming up with a save on Barron, his first save of the game at the 4:07 mark of the first period. It's Allen coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg at 5:37. Saros a save on Matheson at the 6:05 mark of the first period. UC Saros coming up with another save on Kovacevic, and this is the teams exchanging chances back and forth before the first special teams opportunity of the game comes at 7:11 of the first period when the captain Roman Yossi's off to the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking on Gallagher after a strong scoring chance. We see Sikorsky going off the box, and then 2 minutes for holding 4-on-4. Look, we're about to get into a special teams bonanza right here, so try to follow along. And then we go to a 4-on-4 scenario for a minute and 13. I already lost track. 4-on-4 for a minute and 13 seconds. Then Forsberg picks up the penalty. 2 minutes for high sticking. That's going to create a 4-on-3 power play for Montreal for 42 seconds. Saros would come up with a save on Suzuki, and then Montreal would go on the power play after all the 4-on-4s and things would happen for 30 seconds. Saros comes up with a save on Gallagher. Saros comes up with a save on Anderson. Then Saros comes up with another save on Anderson. The Nashville Predators PK standing strong. We finally return to 5-on-5 hockey midway through the first period at 10:55 of the first. It's Gallagher who's off to the box. 2 minutes for interference. So now we're back on special teams hockey. The Nashville Predators power play is crisp. It's fast, and Colton Sissons is cashing in with his 8th goal of the season. It was a redirect of Philip Forsberg's long shot, giving the Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Again, Sissons right there at the top of the blue paint with the heel of the stick, checking the puck down and into the net. At 13:04 of the first period, it's Allen coming with save on McDonough. At 14:20 of the first period, it's Matheson off the box. 2 minutes for tripping on Luke Evangelista, who cut to the net with authority. Allen comes up with a save on Colton Sissons, and then we find Luke Evangelista taking a penalty. 2 minutes for holding the stick. Not quite sure about that one right there, but it was called, so we move on. Montreal gets a power play for a minute and 29 seconds after the 4-on-4. 0 shots on goal for the Nashville Predators penalty kill. They continue their dominant hockey as of late. 18:37 of the first, Allen comes up with a save on Tommy Novak. 19:07, Allen a save on Tomasino, and the Nashville Predators reverse the early momentum and trend. Montreal was out shooting the Preds 9-3. At one point in the period, the Preds ended up out shooting Montreal 11-9 for the totality of the first period. Now, we're going to talk about shots on goal quite a bit in this one. We go to the second period on the clean sheet, 42nd, and it's Allen coming with first save of the period. Soniakov, turn to 125. Allen, another save on Nyquist, 134. Allen, a save on Roman Yossi, 233. Saros comes up with his first save of the period on Kovacevic at 4:26 of the second period. It's Colton Sissons off to the box, 2 minutes for cross-checking, and Gallagher off to the box, 2 minutes for elbowing. We find a 4-on-4 scenario, and the teams are trading chances back and forth. Allen comes up with a save, and O'Reilly crashing hard on the weak side. Then Saros has to stop Dvorak. Then Allen comes up with the big stop on Sherwood off of the rush, trying to create a rebound with a low shot off of the pads. Allen comes up with one more save on Dante Fabro before we return to 5-on-5 hockey. And when we do return to 5-on-5 hockey, that's where we find Colton Sissons scoring his 9th goal of the season, his 2nd goal of the game. Rebound put back of Fabro's long shot. The Nashville Predators take a 2-0 lead in this game over the Montreal Canadiens at 7:02 of the second period. At 8:09 of the second period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Suzuki at the 8:41 mark of the second period. Allen coming up with a save on Nyquist at 9:19 of the second period. Saros coming up with a save on Evans. And then at the 10:37 mark, just over the halfway point in this game, Allen comes up with a save on Barry. 11:21 of the second period. The Nashville Predators picking up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, a bench minor for 2 minutes. Not sure who said what or what exactly was said, but it was enough to earn the Nashville Predators a penalty in this situation. UC Saros would go back to work and come up with a save on Slafkovsky, and then Saros would come with another save on Gallagher. Nashville Predators would have another successful penalty kill. We flip over to the back of the sheet and we continue on with the second period, back to 5-on-5 hockey. We're at 14:06 of the second period. It's Allen coming with a save on Evangelista, who was fresh out of the box and racing towards the net. At 14:39, Saros comes up with a save on Caulfield. 15:03, Allen comes up with a save on McDonough's long shot. At the 16:03 mark of the second period, it's UC Saros coming up with a save on Dvorak at close range, plus the rebound jam, and it continued on, chopping, hacking, whacking, doing everything to try to get the puck past UC Saros, and UC Saros would not give on this play at 16:03 of the second period. At the 18:30 mark of the second period, it's UC Saros back to work again, this time coming with a save on Joel Armia. 18:59 of the period, Saros comes with a save on Armia. The puck is jammed in, but after brief discussion, waved off for goaltender interference. The more angles you see of the replay, the easier it is to understand why this call was made. UC Saros was pushed into the net by a player that had fallen down, I believe it was Gallagher, into the crease and slid right into UC Saros. So clearly, goaltender interference, but no penalty warranted for this situation. Goal taken off of the board, though, and this is extremely important. So Saros credited with a save on Armia, and then the puck is not jammed in the net, waved off by the referees. 19:25 of the second period, though, Evans does get that goal for Montreal, his second of the season. A backhand from between the circle slot area, and it went through Luzon's legs and into the net. A tough shot for UC Saros to see. A really good backhander by Evans right here. And these goals in the final minute of a period or the first minute of a period are always such momentum-generating goals. So Montreal on the board. The Preds still lead 2-1 after 2 periods, and the Nashville Predators are now being outshot 23-16. Now, you're going to hear UC Saros' name quite a bit over the next few minutes, 12 seconds of the third period. It's UC Saros coming over the save on Gallagher, his first of many that are about to happen here in this third period. At 3:34 of the third period, UC Saros comes with a save on Gallagher. Montreal absolutely controlling the first couple of minutes of this play, gaining the momentum coming out of their goal at the end of the second period. The 4:08 mark of the third period, Saros coming with a save on Anderson. And 4:40, Saros another save on Gallagher. At the 6:28 mark of the third period, Saros coming up with a save on Pizzata. At 7:18 of the third period, UC Saros coming up with a save on Barron. At the 7:49 mark of the third period, UC Saros comes up with another save on Dvorak. And at 8:20, Mad Scramble pounces on the loose puck. The wraparound opportunity would not go, and the Montreal Canadiens are hacking, whacking, jamming again up until the whistle and well beyond. It's a TV timeout whistle, and for the Nashville Predators, an opportunity to take a deep breath because Montreal is dominating. As a matter of fact, the Nashville Predators have 0 shots on goal in the period, and the notation I made this morning is that Montreal has all of the shots on goal. Yes, all of the shots. That's what I wrote down because they're just absolutely pouring it on this Nashville Predators team. Back from the TV timeout and back to 5-on-5 hockey, 8:53 of the third period's carry off the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Montreal back to the power play. It's Allen coming up with a save on Cole Smith, shorthanded breakaway. The first shot on goal of the period and the second shot on goal came on a shorthanded breakaway by Cole Smith. Smith followed up his own shot, got the rebound. Really tremendous save by Allen. One, to just be mentally absolutely focused, but honestly, just to be awake. The Nashville Predators hadn't had a shot on goal since the second period. UC Saros would come up with a huge save on Dvorak as the power play expires. Therefore, the Montreal Canadiens, Nashville Predators again hold on the PK. At 11:41 of the third period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Stevens. At the 14-minute mark, Saros comes up with another save on Matheson. At the 15:51 mark of the third period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Barron's backhand from long range. We find ourselves at 17:01 of the third period now, and it's Allen coming up with a save on Trennan, followed by Parson. The best shift of the period, without a doubt, with the only sustained offense of the third period by the Nashville Predators. They actually kept the puck in the zone for a number of seconds, a couple of passes and touches, and it at least allowed UC Saros an opportunity to catch a deep breath. As a matter of fact, it seemed to recenter the Nashville Predators, because then we find ourselves with the empty net scenario at 18:31 of the third period, and UC Saros would only have to come up with one save with the extra attacker on, and that would come right at the buzzer. 19:59 of the third period, UC Saros comes up with a blocker save on Caulfield. The buzzer goes off, and the Nashville Predators survive in this one. They get a 2-1 victory on the road in Montreal, outshot 38-31 in this game. The Preds had 11 shots on goal in the first period. They finished the second period with 16 shots on goal, and they finished the game with 31. So the Preds were actually able to generate 26 at the end of the second period, and then 31 total for the game. So the Predators only 5 shots on goal in the third period, while the Montreal Canadiens just poured it on here in the third period, from the second period on to the third. So 38-31, your final shots on goal for the second week in a row. The Nashville Predators win the second game of the back-to-back by scoring 2 goals and then just absolutely strapping in and hanging on for the roller coaster ride and letting UC Saros do all of the work. Another incredible performance by the starting netminder of UC Saros, reminding everybody just why he's a Vezina caliber goaltender. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap, full game analysis, box score numbers, and so much more coming up.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in, Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Now time to talk about the analysis of this game. And honestly, it should probably just start and end with this first topic. And I considered just making it point after point after point about UC Saros, but I did add some other analysis to this. But for effect, I wanted to tell you that I consider the joke of just making several bullet points of just UC Saros, facts, and performance from this game. I did make a few notations, though, because no doubt he needs to be discussed. UC Saros picks up the victory for the Nashville Predators in this game. He goes 36 out of 37, gives up 1 goal against. It's the second most shots that he has faced this season. 38 at Calgary is the high, so 37 is now the second high. In the first 10 minutes of the game, 9 of 9, UC Saros kept his team in the game in the first 10 minutes. Montreal was buzzing all over the Nashville Predators, outshooting them 9-3 at one point. In the second period, UC Saros was 13 out of 14, under siege the final half of the second period. Did give up a goal there at the end of the second period, but was absolutely under siege and did a good job of only giving up 1, considering the momentum the Canadiens were starting to generate. And when I say momentum, it carried on over into the third period for sure. As the Nashville Predators were held without a shot for over half of the period, the Montreal Canadiens had 14 shots on goal in the third period. Saros was 14 out of 14 and under siege. And to be honest with you, the strangest part of all is he was 14 out of 14 and only had to make 1 save with the almost 90 seconds of 6-on-5 play at the end end of the game, and that save came at the buzzer. Not even sure if that should have been credited as a save or not, but UC Saros, 9 out of 9 in the first, 13 of 14 in the second, 14 out of 14 in the third. Absolutely under siege. Second weekend in a row on the second day of back-to-backs where the Nashville Predators got 2 goals and then just strapped in and held on and let UC Saros do all of the work. He carried his team in this one. There is absolutely no doubt about that. 7 power play saves, 29 even strength saves, 36 saves overall, a 973 save percentage for this one individual game. Let's talk about a couple of other things in this game. Colton Sissons, 2 goals, now 9 on the season. Also had 3 shots on goal, 2 hits, 19-21 in time on ice, 208 of power play, and 333 of shorthanded time on ice. Colton Sissons was a machine out there. For the second night of back-to-backs, Colton Sissons was absolutely bringing the jam, bringing the leadership, and bringing the offensive punch. It's not something you would expect out of Colton Sissons, but he's putting together a really nice season. 9 goals now in 28 games for this Nashville Predators team. He's in number 5 overall on the team in scoring with 15 points. And he's also tremendous at the job that he's expected to do for this Predators team, which is being a great, solid two-way center, a good leader, a great penalty killer, and the PK unit has been as good as it's been all season long as of late. So Colton Sissons is a huge part of that. And his 9 goals on the season, he's just about to double digits. He could be at double digits by Christmas, and that's pretty remarkable for Colton Sissons, not known as the biggest offensive threat, but he is absolutely bringing the jam this season. Let's talk about the captain, Roman Josi. He picks up 2 assists now, 22 points on the season. That puts him tied for second on the team, and he started out so slow this season, and now he is absolutely just racing and out there running like a thoroughbred like we expected he would do. And seeing him out there on the rink with 23-39 time on ice in this game, it wasn't the most, but he did his job, and he led his team 208 in power play time on ice. The Preds did convert on a power play, and it looked really, really good. That's where one of those assists comes from, obviously picking up an assist on each of the Nashville Predators. 2 goals in this game. Dante Fabro picks up an assist in this game, 3 shots on goal, 3 hits, 18:09 time on ice, and seeing him back with the captain Roman Josi on the top pair, that means Dante Fabro ended up with 18:09 in total time on ice. I thought that he looked really good out there on the rink, and I have high hopes for Dante Fabro. I think we're really hitting a point that he is developing into the defenseman we all hoped and expected. I think if he continues to skate with the captain Roman Josi, that balances things out in such a better way, because I think McDonough and Carrier are a tremendous second defensive pairing and a defensive pairing together overall. And then the third pairing is just whoever else you want to plug into the lineup for the time. Jeremy Lauzon is obviously cementing himself into the lineup on a nightly basis with what he does, but Dante Fabro looking really good out there, picking up an assist in this game. Lauzon, I just mentioned his name, so let's talk about it for a second. 2 block shots, 6 hits in this game, truly doing what he is supposed to do out there on the third defensive pairing. Ended up with 18 minutes of time on ice, 3:51 shorthanded time on ice, and he stepped up when the Preds needed to the second defensive pairing. He played big minutes, and he put up big performances now as a incredibly reliable and steady third-pair defenseman. I think that he needs to start getting a little bit more talk and conversation about just how good he has been playing this season. Again, while the Predators were under siege for massive portions of this game, Lauzon ends up with 2 block shots and 6 hits, 3:51 shorthanded time on ice. The PK unit has become such a topic of conversation as of late, because it's fascinating to see how bad the PK was to start the beginning of the season, and they were just getting torched left and right. And now the Nashville Predators PK unit has gone from last in the league up to 23rd in the league. That's a big jump in a short number of time span, short number of games. 5 for 5 in this game, now up to 23rd, and they are just relentless pursuit of the puck out there, blocking shots, and so much of it is McDonough, Carrier, Fabro, and Lauzon. And then on the forward side of things, it's Sissons, it's Sherwood, it's Cole Smith, it's Yakov Trenin, and Ryan O'Reilly. These players are just bringing a certain element of compete level that the power play units are just not really able to handle. The Maple Leafs were the only ones able to crack it over the weekend, and the Nashville Predators were highly successful on the PK this entire last week. So they've jumped way up in the rankings, and it's great to see. They're working hard. They're blocking shots. They're pouncing all over pucks. They're generating offensive chances. I mean, Cole Smith had a shorthanded breakaway takeaway in this game and even had a second follow-up on it, had enough time to get to it. So it's great to see the Nashville Predators penalty kill unit and getting this type of discussion because they've really earned it out there on the rink, and they are moving way up in the rankings. I expect if they can continue playing at this type of competitive level, that they're going to move way up in the rankings of the penalty kill this season. They started so far at the bottom of the hill at the beginning of the season, and now climbing game by game. Let's hear from Stripe Digital, one of our best friends here on the show, and also from some of our other good friends here at the show. This is the Renegades of Puck podcast. We'll be back with the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score. And we got to close this thing up. It's been a back-to-back. It's been a long weekend. We got to let you guys get some rest and take a break before this Philadelphia Flyers game. So let's take this break, and we'll be right back after these messages. The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. Welcome back in. When it comes to the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score, the Nashville Predators, well, last game didn't have a single number in goals or assists. Now they do. Populated columns by Colton Sissons with 2 goals in this game. Your assist leader is the captain, Romeo with 2. Dante Fabro also had 1. Philip Forsberg also adds an assist to his team-leading 17 on the season. When it comes to the shots on goal category, Cole Smith generating 4 in this game. Also 3 by Fabro, 3 by Yossi, and 3 by Yakov Trenin in this game. When it comes to the blocked shots, 2 by Luzon, 2 by the captain, Roman Yossi. And that's it for your leaders in that category. Considering the Preds were under siege as much as they were, you would have expected those numbers to be a little bit higher, honestly, but they were not. In the physical element in the category of hits, Sherwood led the team with 5 in this game. Actually, I take that back. Sherwood led the forwards with 5 in this game. Trenin also with 3 amongst the forwards. Amongst the D, Luzon had 6 hits in this game. Fabro had 3 hits in this game, and Alex Carrier had 2 hits in this game. Time on ice leaders, always interesting to track on the second night of back-to-backs. We're learning a lot about Andrew Burnett and his head coaching style. So far on back-to-backs, he's deployed his backup goaltender on the first night and his starting goaltender on the second night of back-to-backs, and we're tracking the way he puts the forwards and the D out there on these games and these scenarios, and we're starting to see some trends emerge. Time on ice leaders for this, no one over 20 minutes in this game, and that's impressive considering the Nashville Predators were under siege for as much as they were. So out of the forward grouping, 1921 at Colton Sissons is your time on ice leader. 1753 is Ryan O'Reilly. 1728 is Yakov Trenin. When it comes to the defensive side of things, taxing your captain, Roman Yossi, a little bit extra in this one, 23:49, but he was not the time on ice leader for the team. It was Ryan McDonough, 23:54 in total time on ice. So McDonough and Yossi over 20 minutes. Also Alex Carrier at 20:16 for this game. Least amount of time skated by any of the defensemen, 14:19. Was by Tyson Barrie. Power play time on ice, effective power play in this game, 1 out of 2. 208 for a number of forwards. It was Forsberg, it was Nyquist, it was O'Reilly, and it was Sissons, all with 208. And Romeo Yossi also had 208. On the penalty kill, which of course was highly impressive, 5 out of 5. Your time on ice leaders were Colton Sissons at 333, and then Smith at 229, Ryan O'Reilly at 208, and Yakov Trenin at 211. The defenseman shorthanded time on ice, Ryan McDonough at 401, and then Luzon at 351, and then Fabro 305, and Carey 302. They deserve all the credit and all the discussion all the time that we've taken up to talk about the PK unit again. 5 out of 5. A couple other things that fall out in the box score. The power play 1 out of 2. The PK 5 of 5. So the Nashville Predators easily win the special teams unit in this game, special teams matchup in this game. Face-off winning percentage, again, something I've been talking about again quite a bit. 44.4% for the Preds. That's not squaring things away very well. That's not very good. This Preds team should be better up the middle than that, and I would expect Glass getting healthy, Novak getting healthy. They're going to improve on their face-off winning percentage. That's the element I think that's missing. They're not quite up to full health, full speed yet, but hopefully they will be soon. When it comes to block shots, Nashville Predators had 12. They had 28 hits. That's a nice number right there. Takeaways were 9, but giveaways 15. Again, under in that category in that matchup. Takeaways, giveaways, not good to see from the Nashville Predators team. Now, let's go ahead and close this thing out. It's been a long weekend of hockey. The Nashville Predators lost in Toronto 4-0. They win against Montreal in Montreal 2-1. Second weekend in a row, the Nashville Predators just strapped in and hung on and let UC Saros, their starting netminder, do what he does best, which is carry his team to a finish and a victory. And for the Nashville Predators now, they are in 4th place in the Central Division. They're 4 points. They are in 4th place in the Central Division and 4 points out of first place at this point in the season. They're 10-3 since November the 18th. Before that, they had lost 6 of their previous 7 and were on a 4-game losing streak. And then they turned things around and now have gone 10-3 ever since and climbed from last place up to 4th place. They've moved up in a number of statistical metrics. The team is completely different. A lot of this seems to coincide with when Ryan McDonagh was out of the lineup and the Preds seemed to be playing so poorly. And when Ryan McDonagh came back in the lineup, let's just say he's a stabilizing force of that level and of that caliber. And the Nashville Predators players have all seemed to find their games since then. Not every single one of them, but a lot of them certainly have found their game enough so the team has gone 10-3 and climbed up to 4th place in the Central Division and are only 4 points out of first place. They have wins over first place Winnipeg. They have a win over second place Colorado, and they'll be playing 3rd place Dallas coming up soon. So for the Nashville Predators, they're in an incredible spot here, heading into Christmas in what is supposed to be the first season of a complete rebuild with a first-year rookie general manager, a first-year full head coach at this level, a bunch of new players, free agents coming in, a culture change here for the Nashville Predators, a totally new style out there on the ice. We all anticipated this was going to be a very long and difficult season, but it was going to be fun to watch the young players and track their development. Well, right now, UC Saros getting back into form. The veterans that have come in for the Nashville Predators, O'Reilly and Nyquist, are playing incredible hockey, much higher than anyone's expectations could have been. Philip Forsberg is having one of the best beginnings of the season of his career offensively. And then you have Colton Sissons chipping in. You have Luke Evangelista being second in rookie scoring right now. You have so many different moving parts that are going in such a good, positive direction. This Nashville Predators team is far ahead of rebuild expectations at this moment in hockey history. It's just time to take a pause for a couple of seconds and enjoy where it is at this time. After 28 games, the Preds have a winning record, and they're in 4th place, and they're 4 points out of first. They are 3 points out of a guaranteed playoff spot. And you're damn right, I said it, a guaranteed playoff spot. I don't know whether it's going to happen or not, but again, I'm taking a step back, and I'm enjoying it for just a moment. There's a lot of good things happening with this Preds team. It's interesting, it's exciting, it's unique, and they are healthy going into the Christmas run. Another back-to-back next week. So for the Preds, one more game before having a couple of days off to get themselves healed up just a little bit, some rest. It's been an intense amount of hockey. You know, you've been following along right here on the show. We've been in the bunker for each and every show, game, episode, and we're going to continue doing that. So the Preds 10-3 since 11-18, and they look to continue the run into the Christmas break, climbing in the standings from last to 4th in just a matter of 13 games. That's going to do it for Operation number 834. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you for joining us here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Thank you to everybody at the Full Press Network. We sure do appreciate what they do to help us out behind the scenes. Remember, you can check us out on a number of podcast platforms, and we sure do appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. The most important thing is we appreciate your time, we appreciate your viewership, and we appreciate you. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.